What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is GOODLUCK and I make a lot of videos on how to adult. Basically, this is my way of helping you help yourself when you graduate. So I have a lot of questions that I wish I had the answers to before I graduated, and I thought, might as well make a series and help other people who might also be in the same situation in future years. So I really do hope you enjoyed this video and all my other videos. So if you haven't checked those out, please do check them out after this amazing one. It's all about credit scores, what it is, what's up, can you kill, I don't know how to just say. Anyways, before I get into the video, I have two things I need to say. First of all is don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you comment if you enjoyed the video or if you have any other questions or comments or tips for other people. And number two is this video does not constitute financial advice. Please do not take it as it. Please take it with a pinch of salt. I cannot give you financial advice because there are so many people watching my channel, and if you want something specified for your category and your profile, please do seek a financial advisor, someone who is qualified to do so. So I'm going to give you timestamps in case you don't want to watch the whole video, which you really should, but I'll be covering this video according to the following. Firstly, I'll tell you what a credit score is, then I'll cover why it's important, then I'll tell you how it's calculated. And then number 4 is the best way to build your credit score as a young adult, and then finally I'll give you some tips from me. Okay, let's go. So firstly, what is a credit score? A credit score is a number that represents the credit worthiness of a person. This is a great way for future creditors and lenders like banks, stores as Mr. Price, Edgar's, Truworths, whatever. It's a great way for them to assess how good you are at paying back debts. So these credit scores usually range from 300 up until 1,000, but the bigger the score, the better your credit score is. Okay, so why is a credit score so important? You know, as a normal person, your normal rationing is that you need to pay back money that's not yours. You should not be comfortable owing someone, you know. Even if it's 20 Rand, just pay them back, you know. You don't want to owe anyone in life. But if that doesn't motivate you enough, then maybe this will. Having a good credit score is good if you want to make big purchases in the future. This includes things like a house, a car, maybe start a business. And if you have a bad credit score, either they will decline you full stop, like you're not getting that car, you're not getting that house, or number 2, they will give you the money but at a higher interest rate, which means you will pay back so much money because you are someone with such a bad reputation. So if you borrow 1,000, the interest rate could be so high you probably have to pay back 15,000 from borrowing that 1,000. Just as a side note, if you think interest rates and all of that are for people who studied finance, no, they really can affect you. For example, when I bought my car, I had no credit prior, like that was my first credit purchase. So they were giving money to a stranger. They didn't know how well I paid or if I even paid. So my interest rate is like sky high. It is ridiculous. But I know that if my dad went and bought the same car for me, he would have paid maybe even half of what I'm paying. Okay, maybe not half, but like significantly less. So it is really important for you to start building your credit record today so that you are not in the same boat as me. I'm still surviving, so don't stress. But don't be in the same boat as me and be like, I hate credit. Oh, credit is bad. Credit is bad if you don't know how to control it. Okay, number 3, I'm going to cover the components of the calculation, like what actually makes your credit score. How does one get a credit score? Because you need to know what makes a credit score for you to be able to boost it. Am I right? Cool. So the actual credit score calculation is unknown to us because obviously like the credit bureaus need to make their money. So they would never like disclose the full calculation. But there are estimates of what is exactly taken into account when calculating your score. Number 1, payment history. This is about 35% of the calculation. It's just about how well you pay. Like, do you pay on time? If you said the 25th, are you paying on the 25th or are you paying on the 30th or the 1st or next month? You need to pay when you said you will pay. So the more you push out your debts, the worse your credit score gets. Cool. Number 2, debt utilization. This is about 30% of your amount, and it's about how much debt are you using as compared to your income. So if you are earning 10,000 Rand, you cannot have debt for 50,000 Rand because you will never ever be able to pay it. But lenders look at how much you are making versus how much you are using as debt. And if you are given a credit card or a store account and let's say the balance or the max amount that you can spend is 100,000, you should ideally only be using 30% of that amount. So you should only be using about 30,000 Rand of that 100K amount, because if you use more, it kind of shows an image that you do not have enough money to sustain your lifestyle, so you need to use credit. Number 3, credit history length. This is about 15%, and this is a way for creditors to see your attitude towards paying debt. The longer you've had debt, the better your credit score, because they're able to pick up on trends. Like if you have had debt for 15 years, they have picked up your patterns of paying and not paying, so they know you quite well. Unlike someone who's only had debt for 2 months and could be paying every single month, but it's only been 2 months, so we don't know if you really do pay your debts or if you're just still excited about the concept of debt. Recent activity. This is about 10% of the calculation, and it's about how often you've been applying for debt in the near future. Like in the past 6 months, have you applied for debt a lot? And if you are someone who is applying for debt at a lot of different places, it kind of gives an image that you are struggling and you need a lot of debt. So you're at a point where you're taking out debt to pay your other debt, and then you'll take out another debt to pay this other debt. And that's not really a good image, and it drops your credit score a lot, especially if there have been any people who have declined you credit. So if a company declines you credit, that's really bad, because it means you are so bad no one wants to give you money, and the next lender will also not give you money because she didn't give you credit, so why should I, type of thing. And lastly, your credit mix. This is about 10% of the calculation. It's about the different types of debt you have. So you shouldn't really concentrate all your debt in like property or a car. You should also like I forgot what the word is. You should diversify your credit. So don't only have credit concentrated in your car or your house. You should also have like a store account, maybe a credit card, and all of that. The more streams of debt you have, the better. But this is not really a good thing if you're someone who doesn't know how to handle credit. And also, guys, it's only 10% of the calculation. I'm pretty sure your other things can really cover your credit score. So you don't need to over-commit yourself to a lot of debt just so you can boost your credit score by 10%, okay? But you know, credit bureaus need to make money, so we'll never know the full calculation. But if you do want to check your credit score, we are all entitled to 1 annual free credit score check. There are a few companies that are used in South Africa for credit scores. The commonly used credit bureaus are TransUnion, Experian, CompuScan, and XDS. I will put a link in the description box so that you guys can just follow the link and go to those sites so that you can check your credit score if you want to. I'm probably not going to check mine now because I barely have any credit, but I probably will check after I open a few accounts just so that I can see what's happening. Okay. Number 4, what is the best way to build credit? I don't know. But what people have said is slowly but surely. Don't try and take out a lot of credit all at once because you want to improve your credit score. The best way to build your credit score is really subjective depending on you and what you need. I don't think there's a perfect way, but there are multiple ways that you can do it. So you need to introspect and think about what you really need and what you can afford to pay every single month. Personally, I would not open a store account at Mr. Price because I'm pretty sure I can swipe whatever I want at Mr. Price in one go. However, at Zara, on the other hand, I might not be able to swipe 1,000 Rand for a blazer, so maybe I would apply for a store account there. Another thing is, I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, but I told you my laptop crashed and I actually need a new laptop ASAP Rocky. But I don't have 20-30K for a MacBook right now, so I am considering buying it on credit. So you need to think about what you need in your life. If you need a new phone, maybe get a phone on credit. But also it depends on how much you have to spend, right? And I know I said I wouldn't get one from Mr. Price, but that's because I hardly fit into anything from Mr. Price anymore. So if you are someone who buys from Mr. Price, get a card there. And just because you have a credit card there, store card there, doesn't mean you can't afford it. Just means you're trying to build your credit record. And maybe you only buy lip gloss from Mr. Price using that card and then you pay it back the next month. You know, as long as you are building your credit record, I don't care what you buy. You can even buy drugs if you can over the counter. Okay, no, you can't. I know there's a debate on whether credit cards or a store card is better. I will put up a comparison of the advantages and disadvantages so you can decide for yourself. I must make mention that maybe building credit at like a young age when you're a student is best, but it might be hard if you're an international student, because I'll read something that I found, and it said that any credit awarded to any foreigners is governed by the South African Reserve Bank exchange control policy, and this policy clearly states that if you possess a valid working permit in the country, you are within your right to apply for a personal loan. So if you're a student, you don't have a working permit, so there might be issues with you applying for credit at like Mr. Price and all of that. But you know, give it a try. And if you are someone who is an international student and you do have credit, please do let us know how you went about it, or like if it's even possible. Yeah, I'd appreciate that. Okay, cool. Okay, so lastly, I have a few tips on how to build credit and what to think about when you are building your credit. Let me know in the comments if you do have any other tips that we can use. We would definitely appreciate them. Firstly, don't take out too many loans. You look desperate. Don't do it. Number 2, always pay your account in time and ahead of time if you can. And if you can pay more, then pay. But always make sure that you are paying the minimum required. Number 3, don't use the full amount allocated. Because they gave you 300,000 does not mean you must use 300,000. Only use about 30% of the amount, just so that they can see that you don't need the money. Number 4, if you're struggling to meet your payment terms, communicate with your lender. Let them know that, you know, I'm actually struggling, I lost my job, I got a pay cut. Just communicate with them and let them know that what you were meant to pay, you can't pay right now. And communicating with them will also allow you to renegotiate your terms. Maybe you can pay smaller amounts over a longer time. Whatever you do, you need to communicate. That way your lender knows that, you know what, you are trustworthy, you have come to me, I did not have to come and look for you, and you are actually still like trying to pay back the money. So your credit score will not be affected that much. It might still be affected because you're not paying in the original terms, but it won't be as bad as you defaulting and not paying at all. Next tip is do not close your account. If you have fully paid up your Mr. Price account, do not close it. Just keep it running. Buy something, buy lip gloss, pay it back. Just keep your account open, because the longer you've had credit, the more they can see your trend. I used to advocate for people to close their accounts, but that's because I know some people are like addicts and they don't know how to stop. Like, you just want to keep buying. If you are one of those people, then close your account. Just close it. But if you are someone who does have self-control and doesn't always have to buy something when they're in the store, don't close it. Leave it open. Buy a pair of socks every month just so that you keep it active. And lastly, if you're married or potentially going to get married, monitor your partner, especially if you're going to be married in community or property, which is what a lot of people do. You need to monitor your partner. You could have such a crisp credit score and have the highest score in the world, but because you married someone who is struggling to manage their finances, your credit score is also affected. Like, you will not get your dream house because your partner is silly. So make sure you monitor them, talk to them, send them this video if you want to. But whatever you do, do not think that in this life you are alone, especially if you're going to get married in community or property. But we will get into that, like the types of marriages later on in life when I reach that stage. Or maybe not, maybe I'll do it earlier, I don't know. But yeah, keep that in mind. Oh, and like speaking about finances in a relationship is really normal. Like, it should be normalized even more. You shouldn't be scared to ask someone how much they earn, how much they're using, how much they're spending on their car and all of that. Unless if you guys have only been dating for 3 months, then please, can you just hold your horses? That's none of your business. What I pay for my car is none of your business. Alright guys, that concludes my video on credit scores. I really hope it was helpful. I know I can't actually give you specific things to build credit with, but that's because I can't give you financial advice. But I really do hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you did, click like and also do subscribe, and check out my other videos on how to adult, or check out my fun videos on like my vlogs and all of that, whatever you're in the mood for. But thank you so much for watching, and I really do hope you subscribe so that I can see you next time. And lastly, if you do have any requests, please drop them down below so that I can read through them. And guys, I really do try to read all the comments and comment, but YouTube is so difficult to work with. but we're getting there. We are getting there. I am commenting a lot more, so keep the comments coming. Thank you so much. I love you all. Goodbye. My name is Wassup and welcome back to this is hella awkward. I have actually just discovered that I cannot do live TV. I cannot do live audiences because my flatmate is watching me as I record this and I am feeling so awkward. Oh damn, I hope you can't hear the eggs boiling in the background. No, leave them. Don't leave me, leave them. Why don't you entertain me when I'm dancing for you?